Hi everyone, my name is Robert and welcome to Pompeii. We will start the tour today with the largest amphitheatre of Pompeii, which is the oldest surviving stone arena in the Roman world, built around 70 BC, over a century before the Colosseum in Rome. It could hold up to 20,000 spectators, almost twice the city's population, and hosted gladiatorial combat, animal hunts, and public spectacles. Its design, with staircases built into the embankments, made it both innovative and influential for future amphitheatres. After the eruption of Vesuvius in 79 AD, it lay buried for centuries until rediscovered in the 18th century. Today, it's not only a monument to Roman engineering, but also a cultural icon, famously hosting Pink Floyd's legendary 1971 performance, which turned this ancient arena into a timeless stage for music history. The praedia of Julia Felix was a large Roman estate that served as a private urban villa. It included a house with an atrium, a large garden, a bath complex, and a park. From the atrium, with paintings showing forum life, visitors entered the garden. These paintings are now in the Naples Archaeological Museum. There were several rooms here, including a triclinium, which is a dining room, and a banquet hall with scenes of the Nile. Marble benches surrounded a channel of flowing water that cascaded from a niche. A canal with small bridges and niches ran through the garden. The baths included all standard rooms: frigidarium, cold bath; tepidarium, warm room; laconicum, dry sweating room; and caldarium, hot bath. The ancient city of Pompeii lies in southern Italy, near the modern city of Naples, at the foot of Mount Vesuvius. The archaeological site covers about 44 hectares, making it one of the largest and most complete ancient cities preserved anywhere in the world. Its remarkable scale allows visitors to walk along original Roman streets, explore houses, temples, and public spaces, and gain an authentic sense of life 2,000 years ago. Today, Pompeii is among the most visited heritage sites in Italy, drawing more than 4 million tourists annually. This constant flow of visitors reflects not only its status as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but also its importance as a place of remembrance and cultural identity, often described in the field of dark tourism. The site is open almost every day of the year. Standard visiting hours run from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m., with the last entry in the afternoon. During the summer season, extended hours may allow evening visits, offering a cooler and quieter experience. On certain holidays and Mondays, however, the site may close, so visitors are encouraged to check in advance. Entrance fees vary depending on age and status. Adults pay a standard ticket price of around €19, while reduced tickets are available for young people, students, and certain groups. Children under 18 can usually enter for free. Multi-site passes are also offered, allowing access to nearby archaeological areas such as Herculaneum and Oplontis. In 308 BC, 2 years after being devastated by the Romans, cities in the Sarno Valley, including Pompeii, signed a treaty with Rome. This event, recorded by Livy, marks the earliest historical reference to Pompeii. Joining Rome's federation sparked major construction in Pompeii, including renovation of the Doric temple, increased worship of Apollo, and building a new wall using the ad ager method like in Rome. By the early 3rd century BC, Pompeii began taking shape, with roads, public buildings, and homes emerging from once simple paths. Next, we will walk past the House of the Orchard, unearthed in 1951 to 1952. This house is named after its garden-themed frescoes from the early 1st century AD, found in 2 rooms used for rest known as cubicula. Built in the late 3rd century BC, it was renovated at least 4 times. After the 62 AD earthquake, a shop was added and 150 wine amphorae were found, showing commercial use. Renovation was ongoing when the 79 AD eruption buried it. Fragments of floors and wall paintings were found in the upper level, reachable by stairs near the tablinum. Floors were made of cucupesto with white tile patterns. Walls had early 1st century BC frescoes imitating marble panels. A small rear garden was restored with its original layout. Boxwood hedge, oleander, and a central tree. Both cubicula show frescoes of a garden and orchard. Mercatores or Pompeian traders were active in the Mediterranean since the 2nd century BC. Inscriptions found in Delos, an important Aegean port, show Pompeii's role in trade. In Spanish provinces, their main activities involved mining and the slave trade. Pompeii's streets showcased grand houses, sometimes more luxurious than those in Rome. Due to narrow streets, homes expanded upwards with high doors and large atria for receiving guests. Lavish banquet rooms reflected Greek architecture. Even the middle class had refined homes, some with private baths. Pompeii showed loyalty to Augustus's rule through monuments on the forum's east side, built by magistrates and local elites, including women like those linked to the building of Eumatia. The Massalum was renovated nearby as a meeting place for the Augustales, and the Temple of Fortuna Augusta was built on private land. At the town's opposite end, the large palaestra was created for youth education in culture and fitness. The theatre was modernized by architect Artorius Primus, blending sacred and entertainment spaces with a large statue of Augustus on stage. The Temple of Venus was also rebuilt to honor the origins of the gens Lulia. During the bloody social war from 91 to 89 BC, Pompey sided with Rome's Italic enemies. In 89 BC, Sulla attacked the town. Evidence of the siege remains. Catapult holes are still visible on the northwest walls. Oscan inscriptions show Pompey's defense system. Chosen troops protected parts of the walls, while auxiliaries gathered near main roads and public spaces like the Via Sarinu and the Via Mediu. A saying by Cicero claimed it was easier to succeed in Rome than in Pompeii. In 80 BC, Sulla settled army veterans there, founding Colonia, Cornelia, Veneria, Pompeianorum, and changing the town forever. The local Samnite elite was replaced and Pompeii took on a Roman look with new buildings like the Odeon and amphitheatre. Roads leading out of the town were lined with necropolis and grand villas, such as the Villa of the Mysteries and Villa Regina. Between 27 BC and 68 AD, Pompey had strong ties to the imperial court. Emperors Tiberius and Nero often stayed in the Bay of Naples between Capri and Baia. Wealthy people and local leaders lived in grand homes, like the famous house of the Menander. Linked to Nero's wife, Poppaea Sabina's family, others lived in villas on Mount Vesuvius or by the sea. In 59 AD, a major fight broke out in the amphitheatre between locals and people from Nuceria, leaving many dead. The Roman Senate reacted by banning gladiator games in Pompeii for 15 years. Only parts of the temple and porticos remain today. Much was lost to looting after the 79 AD eruption. The site was still under restoration after the 62 AD earthquake when the eruption occurred. The sanctuary had porticos on at least 3 sides, with the temple in the center, aligned north-south. What's visible now are columns, architrave and facade, which date back from the early imperial period and earlier. After a major earthquake hit Pompeii, a few local builders and decorators were not enough to handle the huge task of reconstruction. Once the rubble was cleared, many skilled workers, including slaves, paid laborers, architects, painters, bricklayers, and mosaicists, came from other towns that were less damaged or untouched. These workers had to either stay in Pompeii or travel in daily from nearby villages. They needed food, rest, and places to live. As a result, the town doubled in size, with new inns, restaurants, and lodging built to support the growing workforce. This expansion helped shape the Pompeii we see today. A Roman writer, Seneca, described the earthquake in a letter. He said it struck on February the 5th during winter, a time thought to be safe from such disasters. The entire Campania region was shaken, with buildings destroyed, statues broken, animals killed, and some people left in shock and confusion. Before the eruption, Mount Vesuvius appeared to be a fertile mountain surrounded by vineyards and villas. The people of Pompeii felt safe, unaware they lived on a volcano's edge. On August or October 24, 79 AD, Vesuvius erupted, raining down ash, lapilli, and stones. Roofs collapsed and the first victims perished. By the next day, pumice had piled up over 2 meters high. People sought shelter or fled. At 8 a.m. the following day, a deadly wave of hot gas and ash swept through the city. It reached everywhere, surprising and killing anyone still there. A fine ash, 6 meters deep, covered everything, preserving the shapes of bodies and clothes. After Pompeii became a Roman colony in 80 BC, a temple was built for Venus, the city's protector. It stood on a panoramic terrace between Porta Marina and the Basilica, built by leveling older buildings. As you make your way towards the villa of Diomedes, you'll go right through the necropolis of Porta Ercolano. This cemetery lies along the ancient road to Naples and was in use from the 4th century BC. It includes limestone tombs from the Samnite and Roman periods, with graves from the 1st century BC to 79 AD, showing the common burial styles of the time. On the left of the road are tombs with a semicircular tuff bench, or shola, used to honor prominent citizens. One tomb belongs to Mamia, a priestess who died around 29 AD. Other tombs like those of Novalia Taish and Menascius Fastus include podiums shaped like altars and depict the Sala Carulas, a symbol of power and the privilege of front row theatre seats. After the necropolis, you'll pass the Villa of Diomedes, built on terraces that slope towards the sea. Some terraces were man-made. The building went through many changes and restorations from its original construction to the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. In its final layout, the main entrance is at the top level and can be reached directly from the street by going down a staircase. This leads to a courtyard with columns and several connected rooms. These rooms had different uses. The Villa of Mysteries is located outside the city walls, on the road leading to farmland around Pompeii, an area filled with villas and farms. The villa had a beautiful view of the Gulf of Naples. It included a fancy living area with amazing paintings, as well as a simpler area used for making wine, including a wine press that still survives. The villa was first built in the late 2nd century BC, but what we see today mostly comes from changes made between 70 to 60 BC, likely after new Roman owners took over. During this time, the famous wall paintings were created, some of the most beautiful in the Roman world. The most well-known room shows a large painting of mysterious rituals in honor of the god Dionysus. Moving on, we come across two neighboring theatres that highlight Pompeii's love for performance and public life. The larger one, built in the 2nd century BC, held around 5,000 spectators and was carved into a natural slope for support. It hosted plays in Greek and Latin, comedies, tragedies, and mime performances, making it one of the cultural centers of the city. Right next to it lies the smaller theatre known as the Odeon, built around 80 BC. It seated about 1,500 people and had a roof, giving it excellent acoustics. This space was reserved for more refined performances, music, poetry, readings, and political gatherings. The Odeon's design, with its orchestra area and marble seating for local elites, reflects Pompeii's growing Roman identity and its taste for both entertainment and civic life. Together, these twin theatres show us how Pompeii balanced mass spectacles with more intimate cultural events, making the city a lively hub of art, politics, and community. Pompeii has a large gym building, or palestra. It was built under Emperor Augustus in the early 1st century AD. It was meant for the physical and intellectual training of young people. It had a large courtyard with a swimming pool in the center, surrounded on three sides by porticos. The outside was enclosed by tall walls with iron doors. In front, you can still see the roots of plane trees planted centuries before the eruption. In the west part of the structure, there's a worship area between two columns with a marble base. The columns have graffiti, some erotic, poetic, or about gladiators, showing that people from different backgrounds used the space. Today, the palestra is an exhibition space displaying frescoes from the nearby Moragine triclinium and temporary exhibits on the west side. This is the house of the ship Europa. It's named after a graffiti found in the garden area showing a large cargo ship used for Mediterranean trade called Europa with a lifeboat tied to its back. It was likely lived in by a merchant or small ship owner during the last period of Pompeii's life. A bedroom or cubiculum opens into the central garden. The garden's walls are decorated with colorful reliefs in the first style, popular in the early 1st century BC, with the flowing designs made from stucco. The back of the garden had two levels, one with fruit trees and a small section used for growing vegetables and legumes. Not far from the great amphitheatre, tucked quietly beyond the city walls, lies the necropolis of Porta Nocera. Unlike the busier burial grounds along major roads, this cemetery feels more secluded, almost hidden, and was reserved mainly for families of freed men and freed women. Their tombs tell us remarkable stories of social mobility in Pompeii. Here you'll see a variety of monuments, small enclosures for family burials, altars and semicircular benches known as chaulets, where relatives could gather and honor the dead. Inscriptions carved into the stone often recorded the names and achievements of people who had once been enslaved but earned their freedom, built businesses, and secured lasting places in the community. The peaceful atmosphere here is striking when compared to the bustle of Pompeii streets. Standing among these tombs reminds us that the city's life was not only about spectacle and luxury, it was also about memory, family, and the desire to be remembered long after death. Anyway folks, that's all from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.